Hello, welcome back to Distant Worlds 2. We are continuing our playthrough here as the Boskara, and we are in the middle of a war that has been going on for several episodes because I can't go to peace. The hope is that we just end up taking enough planets over that we just go to peace because there's no enemies left in the war. But that is the plan. We'll have to see how that plays out. I am cash neutral slash negative-ish, mostly as a result of taking over planets, them being very angry at me, and then coupled with a little bit of war weariness here. We're going to have to be a little mindful of expanding our fleets right now. Wait until we're pushing back a little heavier into the cash positive. I'm not going to stop invading because the only way we're getting out of this war is by eliminating the enemy entirely. So I don't really have much of a choice. Let's go ahead and look at war targets colonies. Looks like we got new ones available. So let's go ahead and click all the buttons and just try to plan for letting the AI invade as much as possible. Looks like our cash is starting to build back up a little bit. I am a little bit concerned about the troop availability. I think our invasion fleets are, like this guy's got a good amount of troop availability, and I think we upgraded the quality of our troops too, so that lends itself to a little more offensive capability. I got, what, 4 fleets that are sizable enough to keep invading. The other ones will start loading more troops. Our cash is trending very much towards the positive again, which is great. I was getting really nervous that it was just digging deeper and deeper into a hole, but it looks like whatever was causing that is resolving. If we look at colonies and we look at suitability, let's see, we still have a ton of colonies to colonize. So we're going to keep going with that at the same time. We're going to have a massive population of Shaktur in our empire. Just fine. 27,000 is our research output right now. Looks like we do have several things queued up and ready to research. These are all very cheap, so I might as well just knock them out while I can. Maybe not the most important thing. Probably get these done sooner than later. I feel like with this amount of cash flow, we could afford another fleet. So I am going to build another invasion fleet. We're going to always form from existing ships first. Just so that on the off chance we have them, we can make them available. Might want to make this my home planet over here. I don't know if I ever redid my ships after I got the new fuel system. Apparently I did not. So let's go ahead and upgrade. Get the high density fuel cells on there. You look like you're hurting for space a little bit. Is a Titan blaster smaller than a phase cannon? It looks like it is. Why would you go with those shields? I mean, I guess they're better. The V3. These are smaller size though, and they will upgrade automatically when we switch. These are the same size, so that doesn't make much of a difference. Oh boy. Well, what are we gonna get rid of? You're already slow as heck with barely any engines. Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna touch that. I need some more text before I can do that. Yeah, see, this one already had a bunch of troops available. So hopefully they'll all gather up and start invading. We're almost up to 10 million ship strength. Not quite, but we're getting closer. Almost back up to 2 mil cash flow as well. Take a look at the private economy, see how they're doing. 1.7 mils, pretty good. They're hovering right around their cash flow, which sounds about right. That means they are probably... Yeah, they're not retrofitting any ships right now, so... Must be doing okay. Let's build as many spaceports as we can. Just keep that tech moving forward if we can pull it off. Alright, looks like we took that over. Let's get out of there. That would probably be a good spot to house a fleet. Because it's kind of central to their empire. Couple new colonies getting founded. One's right next to the rift. I guess technically the Shaktur win. Even though they're pretty tiny overall. Most of our empire has become the Shaktur. 32% growth rate is absurd. They're just going to grow ridiculously fast. Species enhancement, population growth. I don't know if these will actually result in any new discoveries on the planets, but I mean, I might as well do them. $59 colony ships being built or are built. So lots of planets built to colonize. And simultaneously conquer. So we are expanding by every possible avenue. Take a peek at the war score here. We can see we are at 62%. I mean, we're going pretty quick. We are outpacing the Mortallons. They're at 58. They're at 111 colonies, which is less than me. "23 colonies left to take over before we can get to peace." Alright, we did the planetary secrets. Let's see if any scouts do anything. Nope, they're not doing anything, so that's like it's probably pointless to research this late in the game. We're doing really good cash-wise. That cash flow's gone up a lot. Research continues to climb as our population grows. No new facilities. Most of the resort locations are done. Take a look at enemy war targets. A couple more we can flag here. Looks like we have 4 invasion fleets that are actually invading right now. So half invading, half loading troops or retrofitting. Which, you know, that's about what I would want. We have about captured up everything they have up here. Alright, let's fix up our fleets. These guys keep getting just absolutely trounced. But that's what they're there for. Bunch of tiny ships. Can't really do much but distract the enemy. Well, looks like we recovered a spy. No scientists. Well, I'll pay money to recruit more spies. I do love spies in this game. I think they're pretty awesome. Alright. Let's keep building. Try to keep up with all these planets being colonized. There's so many. Alright, if we go to our planets and we sort by population. I just need to find one carbonaceous planet that has everything set correctly so I can kind of emulate that. Looks like we're sweeping in no problem. All right, there has to be at least one carbonaceous planet here. Here. You look good, and you have the stuff set correctly. There we go. Get those population controls in place before they start putting Xenox on a carbonaceous planet. Would be very, very silly. The AI likes to do silly stuff sometimes. All right, another invasion. Looks like we are continuing to make some progress here. And let's just take a quick gander at the victory condition. We are up to 63. More talents have not moved. They have not gained any more planets, so we've gained, what, 13 or so since the last. Shaktur are kind of a joke. They're just 11. I could probably steamroll them if I went to war with them. Not that I need to, but theoretically could. All right, the Took are down to 19 colonies. It's a big fall from grace from somebody who was at one point the dominant species in the galaxy, dominant empire. All right, let's crash that, and then there's some stuff down here we know we need. We never got the last Diplotechs. We probably should knock those out real quick. They would bump our reputation. They'd also make the, happen faster. The assimilations from all these conquerings. We got a research in virtual reality. That was in my queue anyway. We might have just got it automatically. Take a look. It was down here. We did get it. Very nice. More research breakthroughs. I would like to get some better shields up and running. That would be nice. We're finding a lot of stuff, though. Must be blowing up a lot of ships and harvesting their parts. Our money is trending a little downward again. Hopefully it holds up okay. Part of me wants to bump this down the list just so we can get some of this other stuff done sooner than later. Looks like more talent. Got another colony from somewhere. All right, we've taken over even more planets, so I have to imagine there's probably some more available to flag now. We're up to 250, 51 planets. Let's get out of the nebula before I click out here. Gets a little crazy. Let's build more spaceports because that will churn out more science research. And I just want as much science as possible just to try to hammer through as much of the tech tree as we can before the end of the game. It might not be relevant, but I do want to build it. We're up to 10 million strength. All right, war targets colonies. Looks like there's a couple more we could flag here. They are kind of running out, though. Take a look at the victory conditions. We're up to 65%, so 5% more and we win. Avis is usually an event planet. And it's usually really good quality. Looks like that is the case, although it has a lot of damage to it. All right, Utu 1 is ours. This has got to be becoming a very massive list. All right, we're hammering out a lot of these really cheap researches. Glad to get these as done as possible. Got a fair amount of Xenox in our empire. Biowarfare Archive. Like we started curing some of the viral plagues. Probably move integrated command down the list. Oh, it's only 200 days. Maybe I'll knock it out just to be done with it. Their fleets really do not seem to matter. What little fleets they had, I feel like I have just eaten them alive. Alright, they are down to 10 planets. Between me and the Mortalon, that will, I imagine, eat up most of it. Alright, let's knock that down the list. We are stabilizing our cash. We're not going down as much as we were. In fact, I think we're ticking up a slight bit, offsetting what we're losing as we take over these additional planets. There's only 8 left. Go ahead and switch over here. Look at these locations. Looks like there's a couple more we can flag. I don't think any of them are... Any of my invasion fleets are close enough to be able to invade. Here, let's set this as a home base for a couple of these. Should get some fleets in the immediate area. You cannot really tell where they are. Looks like there is some Atuk up here. Alright, this additional reputation should help my happiness, which will help my cash flow. Looks like that's trending up again. How close are we to victory? 63. That's not as close as I thought we were. And there's only 7 planets left, so chances are I will not be able to get a victory just off of conquering their planets. Although, with all the planets that we are colonizing, it's possible between all that we could pull it off. Colony ships. That one colony ship, I never did for sure find it, but I did refuel it, and I'm wondering if it did ultimately retrofit. Gotta imagine it did. Critical research and a new scientist as a result. Very nice. Alright, there are a couple more diplotechs we can knock out. That should get most everybody back where they need to be. Then looking at some weapons, maybe. Alright, we took their capital, which just bumped our happiness and lowered our war weariness. Oh, looks like quantum burst, experimental quantum burst. We did get some stuff off of them. Too bad I can't tell which things. But we have a ton of artifacts. I do not imagine... I'm a little surprised with this crappy... Like, not crappy, but we didn't max out our weapon techs or anything, so I'm a little surprised we're doing as good as we're doing. Alright, let's move that stuff down. Let's move Ungary up, just so that we have an opportunity to click on the next one in the tree. Another new scientist. We're just churning those out. Those help our research a lot. Alright, all that happiness made a huge difference in our finances. We are getting a ton of extra money now. Alright, that is all the diplotechs. Still surprising how much research some of this stuff costs. You'd think it'd all be like a year now. But nope. All right, 68%. We are on the cusp of victory. Not quite there yet, but we're getting real close. All right, the last planet can be tagged now, so our invasion fleets should be doing their dirty work relatively soon. I definitely don't want to retrofit anything right now, because that would just detract from our fleet's ability to take over these planets, and the Atuka are not going to put up enough of a fight to need to change our ship designs at this point. Although if we do not hit that 70%, I don't know. Might have to retrofit and break our alliance. All right, we do have one invasion happening. One of their other planets is in the same system, so I got to imagine they're just gonna pivot over to that one and take that one too. All right, some of these techs are so ridiculously cheap. Want to knock them all out. We'll try to get perfect commerce done. Oh, we can't afford to crash research it. I would have thought we'd had plenty of money. What's the private economy looking like? About the same. This entire game, they've spent everything they've made. They've never caught up or got ahead. But I guess they've been doing nothing but straight, you know, finding new mines and building new things. So that kind of makes sense. We have 40 of 64 hexadorium. I would have thought we'd have more. All right, another conquering has happened. This must have been their new capital, because there's a ton of buildings on here. All right, they got one planet left. And it's up here in this system. It looks like we are bombarding. Ancient Guardian development drone. All right. That's the victory. Shaktur Axis victory. Looks like it actually put us over the edge, put us at 70% when we wiped them out, and that gave us the win overall. So, well, that was an interesting game. We definitely did better than I thought we were going to do. Especially the last couple episodes, we really snowballed into something kind of absurd. I didn't even get a chance to retrofit my ships to more advanced weapons or do anything like that. But looking between, you know, these different groups, I definitely evolved way faster. So they're at 59%. More talents were close. I mean, I kind of wanted to break the alliance and go to war with them and knock them back down, but overall they were really close. Shaktur never really took off. I'm a little surprised, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I think overall we did really good. We ended up snowballing after we got a bunch of these artifacts. Our economy didn't just stabilize, but flourished. It let us build up a whole bunch of fleets. The invasion was able to be automated once it got to that point, and we had plenty of troops available on all of our fleets. It was kind of a no-brainer, just a matter of waiting for it to happen at that point. So I do like the Boskarans. I think the We Reign Supreme is an amazing buff. I think if you get the right leader like we had, this great overseer was truly great by its name. I never did change my government type, but this was a really good leader that made a huge difference economically. I'm really glad early in the game I made that switch and took a gamble on getting an extra leader. It was definitely worth the 1 or 2 rebelling planets to make that happen. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video and the series, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to see more content in the future, and we'll catch you in the next series. Thanks for watching.